First Citizens National Poetry Slam, powered by Bogus Litfest, TTT, and sponsored by First Citizens. We put you first.
Look at the lens or don't look at the lens? Look at it then. Wow, deep dive. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the 2025 First Citizens National Poetry Slam Grand Slam.
And this is where we bring it home. Yeah, right here. Understand? You can bring me too if you want. If you have Sunday lunch, of course.
Shakir Gray.
You double speak and you double standard. Keep your distance.
Knowledge and experience uninhibited by procrastinating. I need the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Alysia Psyche Haynes.
I wanted to be her midnight drummer. I wanted to grab hold of that mocking pretender and turn
Rochelle Rawlins.
and fight it. Whoosh. Shoot arrows of self-love in every direction.
Alexandra
Sometimes
Stewart.
love moves into your body and rearranges all the furniture.
Denika Thomas.
Perfect taste of heaven to their lips. They will never get to savor the flavors. Chana,
Shaquille
Take them on a trip like a Korea to experience some sort of euphoria.
Seth Sylvester.
Hypothesis or conclusion from biology or physics. I am John Begonian. The only proof I need is to feel it in my spirit.
Ronaldo
John Reed would raise them out the rat race. In this state, at a young age, men calculate probabilities of survival.
If you don't have a ring, then you don't have a mister. You to bend. You are one, you to bend.
when you bring your joy here, you're not supposed to leave with less than when you came.
Javon Ford.
Beg, asking a black to demand a kiss. The recipe for the bread.
Bros,
Look around. What quality are really looking
Keeron
for? Thank you so much. It is such
defending champion Shakira Burton.
When you enter the dragon's mode, you thought it was Game of Thrones? It's me you're talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, welcome to the 2025 First Citizens National Poetry Slam, the Grand Slam, the biggest stage for spoken word poetry with the biggest cash prize.
Let's hear it.
Make some noise. So who is going to critique? Who has the job of determining who is going to take home this cash prize?
Thankfully not us. Lord knows I don't have the talent or the skill, but we have a panel of judges who absolutely do. Starting with our head judge this year.
Miss Ariel John.
Also on our panel is Nikolai Salcedo, an actor, musician, visual artist.
Next, we have Mr. Paul Keynes Douglas.
Joining our panel also is Dr. Sylvia Roseanne Walker.
Last but certainly not least, Mr. Yomi Sode. So what we're going to do now is test the palate of the judges, of the audience, with our sacrificial poet start things off. So without further ado, put your hands together for our sacrificial poet, Mr. Kyle Amos.
Now, every day I see this woman, my heart does melt. And by instinct, I just fix my clothes and grab my belt. Now, she's the reason I just come to work friendly. We never get introduced before, but I know her name already. Her name is Emily. She have a son, but I like she. Here now. I notice she's be happy when she comes to work early, but you could see the stress on her face when she reached to work about 8:05. Now, I happen to be right in place to get the first good morning. And even if she just mumble it, she just have me soaring. And it's not because she make the whole world pause on the Wassa truck with the workmen that stop for a halt. is because when I see her, I see a different one. When she smiles, I see a different son. She don't wear the tightest skirt, but you can see the lift with the pumps. As a man just want to flirt, but I'm an old-fashioned guy. I still on the job. So sometimes when she leaving for lunch, I just make her stop and sign the book just so I could get a little extra look. But the little boyfriend just wind down the window and playing, he watching me hard. But what am to he, boy? He forget that I's the security guard. And right now, I feel like your girl need protecting. Let my big arms be the one that she resting. But man, it's just one chance I need for her to get the message. I ain't like you doing all that texting, that blessed morning, grand rising, empress. So if I were you, I would just buck up. Because the next time that you muck up is the time that you would be made to suffer. How she end up with you, brother? Ayena. His idea of a date is to carry him with her to give the car a facelift. Baby girl, I don't have a car and I could take you places. I want the road to your heart, I'll even pass through back traces. And I will give everything to you. As soon as my shift is done, I shift to you. I put my life to my words, I will always hit it with the truth. I will always protect you except when Cupid ready to shoot. And this is not the type of love that we see on TV. But if this was Game of Thrones, you would be my Khaleesi. I think the next time I ask you to sign the book, I'll ask you to sign a treaty where I will treat you out this Saturday if you're feeling treaty. I will tell you bring your son too if you want to, because I know you could do with the company. I know you really, really want to. If not for this clown who in this foreign news drop low with the sunroof. And this is real, not just lyrics. You could be with the one who really wants you, or you could be with the gimmick. I know it's hard for you to leave, but you need a man to show your son how to play marble pitch, roll plaster seed, and still be able to tuck you in fast asleep. You need a man that would stay with you, not to just live with you. One who is afraid to bruise his knees and pray with you. One who is afraid to go in Pennywise and take a perfume spray with you. One that would stay with you. One that thinking about tomorrow and not just today with you. Blessed night, everybody.
I'm going to start the vibes. Our very first poet for the night, for the First Citizens National Poetry Slam 2025. Make some noise. Yeah. Coming from the yellow and red corner, put your hands together for the undefeated Shaquille Warren.
I am feeling very happy, very ecstatic, according to my last piece, I'm a divert, I'm feeling very Real Madrid. So we established that the lowest you can get is Manchester United. So the highest, the feeling of euphoria, I'm feeling very Real Madrid. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful and I'm excited. Okay, well, bring it home to me means, seeing that this is my very first, slam, very first experience with the First Citizen National Poetry Slam. Bringing it home quite literally means two things to me. Making this my home and stamping my authority, making it a dogfight. That is one. And two, literally bringing the first prize home to my home.
I am ashamed of how the citizens of this country acted. Fighting amongst ourselves, we became distracted, divided ourselves in sex, to fight on the web like an arachnid, with social media posts just blasting hatred, until resentment start to bubble like it's carbonated. Now I open my eye, skeptical and aggravated. These colors made everyone fight, so I had to keep my guards up like amalgamated. Because division and strife infiltrate the nation. And like Trinidad's treasury, sense was no longer in circulation. So what we fighting each other for, hello? Ain't we blood red and we teeth yellow? So to the unpatriotic bigots that was spreading division right through, if you wanted to commit suicide, you jump from your ego to your IQ. Because my country, your country, turn into he versus she, we versus them, then men, cross lines that takes years to mend. Friend, ships begin to sink, all because we politically define how we think, and that's why I'm more pissed than a wall on Charlotte Street. Because we fighting year after year, generation after generation, and unless we change our ways, we'll arrive at the same destination. So keep spreading hate. I ain't joining that gang with you. And even if we were slaves about to be lynched, I still wouldn't hang with you. Imagine since a young boy I hearing UNC people could only make dal puri, and PNM people could only bust up shot. We should have been fighting to make Trinidad safer. Way before Gabby Fair Tutu in that cemetery, we was already in grave danger. Imagine Trinidad killer quite in the States and going back and forth with me on the social feed. Somebody should have tell that man that is not the kind of foreign exchange this country need. And because we're so divided, I have seen the most humble people become arrogant and high-minded, blinded by the bigoted, one-sided, chided, preconceived notions which collided with their points of view. So TNT is up to you to live peacefully and cooperate. And if we can't see the big picture, we already have portraits. I mean, things so bad, even the pacifists want to pass a fist. So here I stand, a concerned citizen, precariously perched on the precipice of being a patriot or a pessimist, patient or prejudiced, prayerful or with pettiness, all because of the precepts and proclivities of previous primitive predecessors who premeditated and programmed us to be pregnant with hate. And after giving birth to the fetus, it grows into ideologies to defeat us. To fight with ferocity, to forget that this nation is a democracy, to vote based on race rather than policies. Napa, we are more than colors, ethnicities, and affiliations. We are neighbors, co-workers, and friends trying to navigate life situations. We are not rivals, adversaries, foes, or opponents. Just passionate citizens that get caught up in the moment. So let us fight to make the vision a thing of the past. Because that behavior giving hemorrhoids, just a pain in the...
And we're going to keep it moving right along because our next poet is Denika Thomas. So born and raised in Belmont, Denika's storytelling and poems are sanctuaries for unspoken, crafting intimate and unflinching narratives that reflect their own path of healing, queerness, and self-discovery. She is, in fact, many things, but most importantly, Denika is the 2018 Grand Slam champion of the First Citizens National Poetry Slam, a third-place winner in 2019, and a 4-time finalist in the competition. Will she take it tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, Denika Thomas.
So Bring It Home is really simplifying and just going back to the roots. When I was preparing for 2019, you know, in my mind I'm telling myself, okay, I'm defending my crown. And so I would have looked at all of my old performances because in my mind I'm in competition with myself and it's like, how can I do better than I did before? This year I'm not doing that. I don't even care about the pieces from before. I don't feel like I'm in competition at all with anything or anybody, not even myself. I just really started falling back in love with the craft, and so it's more about me using the platform to just have fun with the work and see where it takes me.
Your Honor, I call myself to the stand
let the record show that the performance is in fact a transaction. Poet finds topic they think the audience will appreciate, writes the poem, makes it in their own image and likeness, edits, memorizes, performs, then waits for the much deserved applause. It's called a barter, Your Honor, where the audience gets to feel deeply about an issue they probably didn't care about before hearing the poem, and for a brief moment, poet gets to feel like God is all powerful, has the audience eating out of their perfectly practiced hands. Would you consider it funny or tragic? How people are always in awe by the way poets will words into worlds like they're made of magic. How thrilled audiences are to see poets parade people's experiences like pastors on pulpit. Every poem a sermon on the monk. Some poets pimp poems out for points. Trojan horse issues into auditoriums full of people just like this one, who don't want to think, who just come to be entertained. Are we poets or gestures in front of Queen's Court making a damn fool of ourselves? I assure you, members of the jury, I didn't come here to mamagai microphones. So while this is not a bareback black living in barracks behind God back kind of poem, I'm not going to give my father cancer for shock value. Let the tumors metastasize, spread throughout his entire body until he is no more, only to bring him back alive again. I don't have the kind of audacity it takes to let an audience grieve with me till the end of the piece, only to reveal he was not dead to begin with. This is the exchange. When Islam season, and it's time for poets to think of something to write about, how they flip through the catalogue of crises like menu at a restaurant, salivating at the good ones like vampires thirsty for blood. Call us Christopher Columbus. How we sail on the high seas of our God complexes in hunt of new earth we could colonize. Call us offshore drilling rigs. How we extract, store, and refine lived experiences like oil. And we know better than Paria Fuel Trading Company. The way they knew exactly where those divers were, but chose to wait and watch the way we watch and wordsmith. None of us want to get our hands dirty, only going to look for bodies when we need inspiration. This is the exchange. And after witnessing a slam in the US where over a dozen youth had to be escorted to get counseling after a single performance, I wonder what it means to stand here in front of all of you on trial, how it always feels like a crucifixion, where Mike stands in place of cross, where anything less than heart impaled and poet bleeding out on stage can result in a loss under oath. I testify. Slam stages makes us liars, like how we crack our voices at the appropriate parts of the poem for dramatic effect, pulling audiences in whatever direction we desire. Your Honor, I refuse to unstitch fresh wounds for applause. Today I skip the buffet of trending tragedies, begging for poems to mean more than cool metaphors, but let the others play the game. Crown themselves kings and queens of catharsis, sell wounds they never had to survive for the O's and the A's. I have always chosen to write from the heart and not from headlines alone. Not unless them headlines hitting home.
So moving along, our next poet to grace the slam stage to bring it home is a masterful writer. Has been at it since 16 years of age in the slam space and has grown from not placing at all to be the only one to grab the title 3 times. Yeah. Put your hands together. Some lofty fanfare for Alexandra Stewart.
When I think of bring it home in the context of me as an artist, I think about my goal to make my pieces as personal and as true to me as possible. I found that trying to connect with how a theme connects to me in a deeper way has been most effective for connecting with the audience as well, because they recognize the sincerity of your own experience. Well, I feel like audience connection comes naturally when you're being genuine, because our experiences are unique, but we are all united by all being humans. So when you speak to what's true to you, odds are that's going to resonate with someone, and most times that's been the case for me.
Tell anybody a mermaid was here and they will have a straight face. Because why would mermaids be fantasy when all can see Trinbago is not a real place? Grab a snack, let's review a bit. You had front row view of it. The frantic antics in the aptly described silly season. Graveyards need guardians in case another masquerader loses reason and decides to do the unthinkable. Meanwhile, corruption becomes a natural eruption of a powerful, like a burp when they done eat their belly full. And you could believe, if I ups and leave for a swim in colder waters, they want me to pay for the new UK visa? More and more the news feels like folklore. The downward pull of current events could flood lungs full and force a body's descent. Feels like you're drowning and talk of recession causing dread. Storm surge of struggle up ahead. Dreams burst like bubbles above your head. You're begging peace to stay, but it migrating instead. Some say nothing to do but lay back eyes wide and succumb to the terrible tide. The islands overrun and none will survive. We're not built to overcome, so don't bother try. Like a fish in a net, don't get caught in that lie. Let daughter of the water remind you why I, child of the low hum of ocean, saying, come to my shore and be reassured. My mouth is a conch shell singing the Caribbean sea's melodies, so shh. Like a tsunami, to go further forward, you first go back. So let's consider historical facts. When colonizing clowns came to town, the only visa they carried was audacity. Borders crossing casually, orders causing casualties. I watched both land and leave and come back again. Both land and sea get attacked and blood-stained. 3 boats no longer float on the coat of arms, but my memory remains. Maria armed to the teeth, harm and defeat, then a constant flow of fleets eager to eat something sweet. You feel fighting for freedom was some easy feat? Our history is a weight we carry while still moving our feet. Some nights in agony, the sea crashes her body against North Coast cliffs. A grieving mother who cannot forget the cold blue lips of the captured free. I guided them into her depths, while she wept and made room in her watery womb for those who dived to their death to escape a life in chains. She is made of the same salty tears of pain that cut the cheeks of all who cut through Cain. Enslaved or indentured, immigrant or indigenous, every journey ventured crossed her waters. Your ancestors, her sons and daughters, she watched all who came, washed all the same, so no one should say with disdain that your last name has a slave master's stain. Each of you a child of sea, 70% water, cry and see. The rise and fall of tides in our tongues is the reason they call our accents sing songs. So sing strong, like a siren, call persistence, call a river rush of resistance to rip a tide through the throat that say we too weak to stay afloat. When hope is a sinking boat, the sea reminds us who we meant to be. Anchored to our identity, waves that never waver, we rise and rush relentlessly. Who can touch our endlessly creative community? On the beach called Soca must find my shell. Calypso's a ship incomplete without a rudder. Here is a place like no other, where pan-born, chutney formed, pooey blooms, trauma transforms into captivating culture. Children of the sea, but we don't fish for compliments. Our survival proves our competence. So who have beef with our confidence could crash against the reef of our accomplishments. Look how far we've come. Still far to go. Finish line like the horizon way over so. But no matter how unreal this place could sometimes feel, let no one conceal what history reveals. Fearless and free, we are children of the sea.
AKA Ariel with the little skirt, I like it, I like it. But this next performer who is coming to this stage is not new to performing. She's done Best Village Poetry and Dance. But this is her first time at the Grand Slam, making it all the way to the finals. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm slam welcome to Rochelle Rawlins.
So what comes to mind when I hear Bring It Home? I think of a serious topic, something that is going to hit and have a very strong impact. So that's one side of it, that's the serious side of it. On the other side of it, I also think of a mango tree So like bring it home, I'm just thinking like a yard with mangoes on the ground, mangoes falling. But like when people look at me, they remember my story. So like with the auditions and semis, I was very scared. I doubted that I'll make it for any competition, but I said, you know what? This year, you're gonna try, because I'll always watch the slam on television and I'll be like, that could be me on TV, you know. And I'm like, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year. And then this is the year that I finally did it.
I've heard stories as old as time of older women being sexual with minors. He made sure he lost his virginity young. He wasn't sticking. By age 9, he wasn't a virgin. He didn't want anybody to bully him about what he was missing. He said that there was a pressure men faced to have sex young. He recalled that when he was in Form 5, the girls his age didn't do it for him anymore. So he looked for older, and an older woman crashed into him like a boulder. He was 17, and she 37. What he said made me ponder. A big woman and a child, where do we draw the line? She was 37 when he was just a child. What ruminated through her mind when she laid in bed at night that made her think that as a 37-year-old woman sleeping with a 17-year-old boy was okay? He wasn't 18 yet, but she didn't fret. Maybe he was her best, yet she preyed on him like a cougar. Was it the allure of young blood? Did smelling the youth on him make her old bones tingle? Did it give her that urge to mingle? Did seeing the milk in his face make her bosoms lactate? Did she watch him and thought that he would have done great as her second child father? She saw him and wanted to procreate. Bring it home. If it fall in your garden, it fall in your garden. Bring it home. He said his family whispered about her. Months passed and nobody had confronted her. He said his family believed that if they pretended it did not exist, it would have stopped existing. Sweep it under the rug was his family's motto. A 20-year age gap with a minor clearly didn't bother her. She was one of them. Age was just a number folk, wasn't she? He said he was rude and flirty, a man of the ladies. He flirted and showered her with sweet nothings. But that sweet talk had her dazed, and all her rationale faded. She saw the line and she crossed it. Bring it home. If it fall in your garden, it fall in your garden. Bring it home. He said he was curious, yes. Of older women, yes. He said he needed to explore an older woman to quell his curiosity. But she didn't have to play Dora, and he didn't have to use her boots to do the exploring. Instead of being her brother's keeper, she was a creeper, she was a village seeker, she was only prowl for all minors 17 and younger. The community never looked so rotten. Bring it home. If it fall in your garden, it fall in your garden. Bring it home. He said the baby was coming soon. Her belly was inflated, but he wasn't elated. As a soon-to-be father, he couldn't fathom how to raise it. At 17, should he have been asking a 37-year-old woman, is it a boy or a girl? I wonder how many women have this tree planted. Bring it home. If it fall in your garden, it fall in your garden. Bring it home. I've heard stories as old as time of older women being sexual with minors. So tell me, at 17, how much did he really know about the world, unlike her?
So, our next poet to grace the stage is a director, an actress, an educator, with her piece entitled Mr. A. Can I have some noise for Alysia Psyche Haynes?
So this year is actually my second time entering the First Citizens National Poetry Slam. Last year was actually my first time. Last year was just about me going through my own individual mental battles. But this year, I represented someone in my semi-final piece. And for finals, there's just something else I want to be able to say. So that's really it. I wondered when people hear my pieces, they are empowered. They are empowered to live in their truth and to live their life by their standards, not by society's, not by anybody's views as to how it is they think that they should live, but that they own their life. Each day, every day, it's their day.
To Mr. A, who is currently in the audience looking at this performance, it has taken me a while to say, but today I no longer identify as your it. The it you can't claim to be in a relationship with, the it you treat like just a friend for your own sexual benefit. Benefits that I thought were meant to be mutual, characterized by punctual, early morning messages and a daily phone call ritual. Instead, your phone calls were just text messages posing as massages to massage away my anxiety caused by the inconsistency of your presence. Not even for my birthday did you get me a present. It was Netflix and chill. And though a brother's chill has been chillanting, it has gotten to a place where the chill alone is no longer satisfying. I have tried explaining I am in need of seduction. Laughter, talks of the future, a connection. I want to be breathless from your thoughtful considerations, gagging from our deep-throated conversation. But instead, when I come to you for confirmation, you belittle me with manipulation, stagnation, talking down to me about emotional regulation, retaliation, gun loaded but with bullets of frustration. Because why does loving me right require all this explanation? I should have listened to my mother's intuition. She saw the fake you and knew the real you was only in remission. You came to me like a man dripping with intention. Instead, you were just stress lines and weight gain all added on through deception. Now society says I'm too old and puts my picture on a clock. Society says by now I should have been married and posting videos for likes on TikTok. But society could take its opinion and shove it where there is no light. Because where is my redress for all the time spent with you not loving me right? It is my belief to waste a woman's years should be punishable by law. Every day a woman cries should equal the number of years a man goes to jail for. And for the men who want to come for me saying it should go both ways, feel free to get your own advocate to come fight your battle on stage. For the women who also disagree, I am happy you feel that way. It lets me know while the rest of us was taking one for the team, you met your Mufasa on the first day. But for the women in here who have been through and still going through it, listen, I read somewhere, we don't have to get to the end of this lesson in order for us to learn it. If he is next to you, come, take my hand, and together we will say it. I no longer identify as your it. Now stand up and leave that man to burn in the power of your exit.
You have to get on the big stage voice.
The big stage?
The big stage voice.
The big stage?
Uh-huh.
Put your hands together for the defending champion, the one and only Shakira Burton!
When I hear Bring It Home, I think about self-reflection. I think about my own personal journey as an artist, where I have been and where I'm headed to. I see my poetry contributing as a legacy to me as an artist, as I take every piece as an opportunity to challenge myself, as I push spoken word to different borders and different heights. And I think that the message I always want to leave is change is important. I knew that Numbers was a powerful piece. I wasn't expecting it to have the viral sensation that it had, but I think as an artist, it is always important to me that what I say starts a conversation. So if a conversation is being had, then my job is done. Slam has given me so many opportunities as their champion, and it's been such a surreal journey. And I'm excited to see how the year of 2025 will unfold for me, how God will stretch me and challenge me as an artist moving forward.
Politics, politics, politics. Grab a snack, let we brag a bit. Dr. Eric Williams rolling in the grave, cause Trinidad going through. It's only here government does give 4% and take 42. Raise your hand if you fed up too. If you're feeling stuck and mean care if election went on Monday, this stage is my ballot box. Welcome to life in Trinidad, where we does arrest the commissioner of police and look for evidence after. Wait till the finish church, then to gun down the pastor. Trinidad sweet, but sometimes it bitter too. Cause change is something we just talk about but never really do. Yes, the system is self-serving, but you pretend it feeds you. So breakthrough is not on the plate for dinner, because bail is now available for murder. So the state of emergency had no urgency. Long time we used to need 2 people to play police and thief. Now we need 1. In Trinidad, police does play bandit for fun, because law gone out of style and justice not in fashion. It's here's police holding businessman for ransom, but it's no consolation if the cops is the cause for the cops. But we does get caught up in politics and election fever. Ministers that has come every 5 years and we don't see them after, not every answer is going to promote political longevity. But a simple need is to increase public servant salary, and bread raise, and gas raise. So about we, like I had to tell them, when you send in my payslip, put yeast on it to raise my salary. I'm not asking to live in luxury, but I'm asking to live in comfort. To go in the grocery and you feel like my pocket get beat up, put your hand up if you're fed up of Trinidad squatting below its value. Because it's true, Trinidad rich in natural resources, but we poor in common sense. Because everything has become about dollars and cents. So money made us morally compromised, depreciating the value of human life. So you telling me that a chain is worth more than my life? Trinidad, we too desensitized. We just normalize murder like it's another Monday, but the SOE done. Or they could come down and stop seeking asylum, but remember to wear a bulletproof vest when entering Piaco Airport. Because we just talk about change, but do we really want it? Do we just love to live in chaos, then complain about it, post about it on social media, and forget about it? Because if change is not what you're looking for, put raw talk for Prime Minister. Because remember, we need stricter crimes for domestic violence. I'm not for or against anybody, but if your race determines your party, you better check yourself. Because Patrick Manning won we, but we didn't hear. You don't believe me? Well, last year see change. And I'm not talking about petty thing like getting the road paved year after year. It's the same thing we're talking about. Waiting on the right people in power to get you with a HDC house, put your hand up. If you're fed up, and you better know how to act. I sure Stuart Young didn't know he was on OJT contract. We don't need politicians. We need humanitarians, because democracy doesn't live here anymore. But we own downfall, talking about I not voting later because I didn't get a hamper. Remember, you could buy bed, but you can't buy rest. You could buy clock, but you can't buy time. And you could buy politicians, but you cannot buy performance. So who's going to lead the country back where it's supposed to be? To fight for equality, to tell them it's time for spoken word to make the March Gras money. I hear you want to bring it home. But you gotta wait till next year, honey. Is Rowley who retired. Don't confuse him with me. Challenge me, boy, I will give you a run around the savannah for your money. So if what you're coming to say on this stage is not about change, it's best you don't talk. But if you're feeling bad, look the crown on my head. Run up and take it off. Because anytime you feel I retired, look, I'm standing in front of the mic. Bang, shots fired.
Our next word scribe is a prolific writer, no stranger to the stage, and has dominated here in the First Citizens National Poetry Slam before. put your hands together for the one and only Mr. Kevin Soyer.
I would have started slam in COVID, so I was just performing to cameras for 2 years of doing slam. I used to think of slam as a place that I had to compartmentalize, so there's a part of me that does comedy and then I need to come here and be, more reserved and, reflective and a different tone. But I'm kind of realizing now, I just need to bring my full self to it. Just bring all of me to whatever I do, because it's all a lot of the same thing. You are sharing your own convictions, you're using your voice, you're sharing your perspective, and you're hopefully entertaining and educating while you're doing it. It's an enjoyable thing to bring things home, like a check, $50,000, hopefully, performance fees and stuff like that. So hopefully that's part of the outcome of this.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to this segment of the show. That's a conversation and assessment. As we know, the adage, Trinis have a short memory, is your dismissive self-diagnosis that you flippantly mention. Suspicious symptomatic discoveries now suggest some severe societal dementia. Attention, is not inevitable, which is excellent news. It's actually linked to what you exercise, consume, and abuse, influenced less by age and more so by your unhealthy habits. So in terms you would better understand, grab a snack. Let me blag a bit. Now, regarding your very first cognitive exam, your previous practitioner left notes, but your score should be reduced by a significant fraction. You see, while the late Dr. Williams found you indeed watched words, I've observed that you struggle to carry them out as actions. Discipline, production, tolerance. The concern now is that neither one of us would have lived to see you interpret these as more than just sentimental abstractions. And then there's the matter of your infractions, racially fueled abuse, allowing the gifts of your multiplicity to fall like overripe fruit, pelting prejudice from political posy on all who intrude because this is your land and you want nobody on it who don't look like you. That can't be true. You've forgotten that you were carved out of colorful and complex cultures by colonial oppression. Scraps of identity were your only possession, stitched together into a red, white, and black covering secured by a sovereign brooch. So I would reach to you calling people monkey and cockroach. You should be beyond reproach. Please, follow my finger and tell me, can you read the writing on the wall? Regarding your inability to make timely judgments at all, collecting criminal cases like some kind of judicial hoarder, you've become paranoid, xenophobic, while real danger slip past your borders, guns, drugs, vessel after vessel containing them while you're distracted, unaware. You have trouble explaining them. You've now elected to make changes because your math wasn't mathsing, as it were, giving ministers 47% more while paying your public servants dirt. You lost your sandals, not to mention your gas deal, your procurement practices, perverse. I mean, you were caught with your pants down. All of your neighbors saw your SSA in reverse. But you're not blight, you're not cursed. You've forgotten that from young you fought for your... From young you fought for your just dues riot by riot. And in the face of injustice, you wouldn't stay quiet. You bent wire over plantation fire and forged a carnival industry. You pound a new percussive pulse into the 20th century. You spoke in calypso, fostered faith and folklore. Now the only stories you enjoy are those that could end in pre-action protocol. You don't want to vote at all, like the MP with all the mattresses and bottled water said, "Captain, your ship is sinking, and the kind of ships they would send are not the ones you are thinking. Guardianship, conservatorship, wardship. You didn't earn 63 years of independence to have it snatched from your grip. So my tips, exercise. Every form of your democratic power, consume local creations, innovations, and culture. Don't abuse empty scrolls and frivolous distractions. Stay mentally active, contemplating ways to make your home a safer attraction. Live by your anthem. Remember the dreams and plans you had for me and my future generations. I love you, and I can't allow your sovereign journey to be done. I am no doctor or physician. You know me. Remember my face, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm your son.
So no stranger to the stage, but very much going to give us his best tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get some noise going for Shakir Gray!
When I hear the phrase bring it home, as an artist and personally, I think immediately a place of comfort, a place of familiarity, but I also think bring home the grand prize, the 50,000. And it does resonate with me in the sense of I am accustomed to operating in a place of comfort, and I feel like everyone in the competition wants to bring it home. So it's coming from a place of honesty. I said I want to win once. I had a wink of sleep once in months. I wanted bad, and I feel like that is a perfect description of the mindset going into this competition, as well as the theme, bring it home. All rise for the national anthem. What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Comes from here, comes from there, and I come from a place where the native language is Doke. That is the flavor of our culture. Some breaking bread, some begging breadcrumbs. That's the flavor of our culture. Our faults done deep fried. We well battered by issues we don't advertise because we detach and dehumanize. We're so familiar with the sound of tragic news, it sounds like a jingle, an advert. We're so surrounded by pessimism, we expect all outcomes to be adverse. That's why what I say in hitting home, don't act surprised. There's always truth in what we advertise. These days, our moral compass points where it wants. No wonder we lost. Now every simple situation seems to go south as accountability is brought to naught. Until we're willing to take stock, these trini bones will be bought for broth. All we need now is Maggie to flavor the pot. You hungry? Have some food for thought, whole court. Because with the claims I making, somebody ought to pay. But my unserious countrymen would look me straight in my face and say, no down payment, no collateral, that's no problem. Yes, it's true, that's not all, they're quick and friendly too. That's the problem, we like to lie. We like to avoid with problems and smile. As if we alone take loans we can't afford and feign support while hiding interest. And we pester and sequester and we jab and jeer like jesters you can depend on. If what I'm saying hitting home, don't act surprised. There's always truth in what we advertise. I come from a place where people are people. You know what I mean? Until we demean and deem them less than person, until we see our fellow man as little more than folklore, don't care. Unless it's affecting us, we don't care. But we don't have to stay so. I say take the initiative. These are the days of our lives. You can't be cold and dutiful. While we young and restless, you should be bold and... I know what I'm saying it in home. Don't act surprised. There's always truth in what we advertise. That's why don't care is the secret sauce. Don't care is the special flavor that's made to savor.
So our next poet, for your viewing pleasure, is also a father of a four-legged dog named Daisy, whose questionable lifestyle has put him in expense. In other words, my brother need the money.
Yeah, 50,000.
Yeah.
For Daisy.
Exactly. Can I have some fanfare for Keeron Isaac?
The first thing I think of when I bring it home is Outer Banks. I think that was the line his dad used to tell John B, right? But personally, I think it just means going back to who you are. I think everybody probably realized by now I'm very, I guess, quirky. Some people would say, funny, so I take that. I was like, that's a good compliment. So I definitely try to inject the humor into the pieces. Some of them are based on like satire. Some are easy with cynical ones, which I thought was interesting. But I definitely think that it's important for me to still use my strengths and the core of who I am as an artist and a performer, and to inflect it into my pieces, and to definitely make and I think it definitely makes me stand out as well. So yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the greatest show on earth. Come to the circus, hear the music, be enthralled by the perilous leaps of the acrobats, the allure of the magicians, the death-defying stunts of the danger acts. Come one, come all to the greatest show on earth. First on stage, give it up for in-house quick change artist, Gazelle Jackson. She's quickly become a star attraction in our circus family, revered by audiences for her acrobatic ability to quickly change forms into a variety of maneuvers, flips, and tricks. Ooh, she's a philanthropist. Ah, a politician. Oh, a karate icon. Embedded Watson Duke. What will she change into next? We hope it's someone with integrity. Speaking of integrity, it's the lying tamer, Gary Griffith. The thrill and inherent danger of performing with wild animals has kept him around for decades. He claims exceptional excellence at taming the big cat. Speaking of raw, let's head for raw talk. Entering our political circus, a magician. Like the Houdini she is, she could make your man disappear. In exchange, she was hoping a constituency seat would appear. San Fernando East, not there. Thanks to the EBC, expelled by common sense. Just giving it to you raw. And for those not into raw meat, our fire breather. He might be young, but has already learned to incinerate. Our dragon gas deal. Just like his hopes and dreams, a small flame, 2025 to 2025. Reduced to ash. And rising from the ash, it's the return of our favorite showgirl, Mrs. Persad B. Sesser. Hey, big spender. Razzle, dazzle, baffle, even upping her performance with AI. Alcoholic intelligence, so it's not actually her performing those stunts. And what good is a circus without a crowd to gasp at the high flyers, gander at the clowns, glee at the spectacle of art? Just state the danger the stories provide. You see, these headliners tell stories that completely ignore that in this circus, the audience is part of the show. In this circus, the common man has become a captive audience, walking the tightest balancing act with no assurance of where he'll fall, becoming a tightrope walker, the tightest balancing act, no assurance of where he'll fall, knowing his severely compromised safety nets have more holes than the roads they drive on. And when balance becomes compromised, he becomes a contortionist, twisting and turning into uncomfortable, compromising positions to ensure his survival. And when that fails, he goes rogue, becoming a knife thrower, lashing out, no care at all who gets hit along the way. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Welcome to the greatest show on earth. Who needs the Suarez brothers when you get this immersive experience daily? Sit back and enjoy the damn show.
Who we have next to the people?
We are going to hear from somebody who has made it to the Grand Slam final stage since 2016. So he's coming with something to prove. And this is just performer number 10. So we more than halfway through. You guys, no stranger to the Grand Slam stage. Let's give it up for a man with a message, Michael Logie.
The theme, Bring It Home, is sentimental in the poetry space in general. We tend to stray from our personal stories to tell the stories of others. As it relates to this year's Poetry Slam, I decided to embrace the theme and actually bring it home where my performance is concerned. So yes, it has a lot of significance. I think to reach our audience with a serious piece, you need to tailor it in a way that they can relate. So I think with that in mind, I tend to go down that slightly comical route, but of course, probably flicking a switch or turning the poem on its head or something to really bring home a particular message, because some issues is not all fun and kicks, but you know, we Trinidadians, I know we like to laugh at everything.
Like I have to camouflage to find him. Make myself invisible to the naked eye, like I have to hold still, as any sudden movements will result in the prey moving further into the forest. Even Ian Allen agrees that the hunt is on. But this hunt is not for the faint-hearted. You see, a seasoned hunter knows that patience is a weapon, sharpened by waiting. Well, they probably watching me like I'm mad, but you know how long I job hunting? Boy, every day I am myself, trying to be as authentic as possible. I am myself, preparing myself for battle, my resume. The sharpened arrows clenched between my fingers at the slightest sight of danger. I take in cover behind cover letters, folders, manila, the breastplate that protects the heart of this hunter. To be a hunter on the job hunt, you must embark on a mission where you would be told that you need 2 years experience to get an entry-level position. But how am I to get experience if you're not giving me the job that will give me the experience? To be a hunter on the job hunt, you must stalk your prey and use that as your source of income. You're setting up a flambeau, tent, and sleep in bed on CaribbeanJobs.com. You're using your bachelor's degree as a booby trap. Your transcript must be nothing short of military grade, and you're following that prey all the way into a rabbit hole. Because as soon as you get the call and it seems like they're in to you, trust me, they're not calling you back for the interview, as you are made to compete with someone's nephew or niece, while the vacancies are already filled. But you know, HR must put the ad on the papers still. To be a hunter on the job hunt, you must understand that your real salary is your net. So search for holes and cast it forthwith. Circle the areas where the prey casually sits and wait for it. Yeah, you sit down there and wait for it.
Soon you realize that you need another hunter to assist, one that is willing to admit that to catch any type of prey and benefit from the perks, you must ensure that your net works, as nepotism is the bait with the highest success rates, as it neglects the grades. It forgets your grades and prioritizes the hunters that are someone's fees, that is someone's babes, the elusive prey that is employment in this modern day. It's drastically contributing to the country's brain drain, as hunters could no longer rely on their own wits and marksmanship because somebody else has been given the rabbit, not because of hard work, but because of bad habit. Is nepotism really the only way to catch a seat at the fire pit? Can I even fetch a meal based on skill and merit? Or are the jobs simply there for someone's family to inherit?
Up next is a young psychologist and multifaceted artist. Ladies and gentlemen, fanfare for Javon Ford.
I've been away from the slam stage for a little bit, so coming back to a space that I'm really familiar with or have been to quite a few times feels like coming back to home, or for lack of a better term, a safe space. I know I could be myself and really express the thoughts that are on my mind. How it impacts my artistry? Not that much. If you go through the footage from auditions to finals this year, you'd see that I've been speaking about death consistently. That's been the running theme. So currently, that's what's inspiring me. If I had to describe my style in 3 words, which camera's on me? Is this camera on me? Damn. Very damn good. That'll be it.
Hear them celebrate the freedom. Pitter patter, pitter patter. Down here, you could get a unique appreciation of the mass. The earth does tremble when the powerful move. When the weak speak, you hear, it don't matter, it don't matter. So yes, I dress in my Tuesday best to get eternal rest under here. Next, I see this girl pulling down she Tuesday mass underwear. Lord, if you had to pick a time to come a praise in tutu before that tutu get too loose, I can't move, so either way you choose is a lose-lose. Who does choose to let loose in a cemetery? Here's supposed to be a sanctuary dread, but it's fresh fertilizer drop on my head. If I wasn't already dead, I would have dead. Slowly, it starts to seep in. First, a he, then a whore. The people who saw were geeping. She went online and told more. Now the whole country was speaking. I expected them to start beefing so I could lay to rest. The laughs got louder, so of course I had to check. Saw one girl say, if I was he, I was starting the haunting immediately. Another's biggest gripe was, how she wiped when she was done. It's all fun and games until you the one getting my grave. My grave get desecrated and all them had to offer up was shit talk. Sometimes I'd be glad I buried instead of living with the verbally disinterred there where they would laugh at anything, even if it's brand disrespecting he gal in broad daylight. It don't matter if it's a grave, right? Until them dead, nothing would ever be a grave site. They laugh and forget. And laugh and forget. Use the mask as a mask to brush past disrespect. It's holy air them does be masquerading up there, pretending not to see they have a weird dedication to defecation. Would sit down when it's time to stand up and defend a nation, but this is not the first time somebody squat and hold the whole hole over a people's whole soul as ransom before. Threatened to bomb them back to third world with a whole third. Ask them before, they used to riot and throw coups. Now they're quiet. They're dead too? What they require? So just move and act like they're not damn embalmed. Eyes closed and laugh, tongue in cheek, heart in palm. Is nothing they will fight for? Not trying to incite war. I just find it unfair that Gabby could drop loads and still be here, trying to sidestep blame like it wasn't me, it was he, but still nothing funny, let me be clear. How they let that slide? It's pure manure, drop straight in my... How they let that slide? I never see someone so brave in my life. They have a whole country on deck, but somehow keep pulling jokers. I hope they laugh. When the issues hit a little too close to home, I hope they laugh. When the evils left unchecked somehow return, I hope they learn to turn in the grave to keep laughing. Just to keep the laugh in. I heard that when a people no longer stand up for themselves, it becomes easy for those who believe they're more alive to just shit on them. No matter how hard you scrub, the stain from the skid marks remain. The people ignore, and then is pitter-patter, pitter-patter. The masks for masks are up again. Because it don't matter. They would use the laugh and snide remarks to hide the pain.
Now this next poet is actually a TEDx speaker, a multidisciplinary creative, and someone who has actually held the title, the 2017 First Citizens National Poetry Slam champ, and the 2017 Miss Tobago Heritage Personality. You know what? With that intro, it's best we just hear from her. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Cameron Bruno.
Yeah.
I think the theme, Bring It Home, resonates with me a lot this time around, especially because I took some time off to kind of figure out who I am as a human, being able to explore other passions and other hobbies. And poetry most definitely has been the one that has allowed me to feel my truest self. So yeah, it allows me to come back home. Being an adult is difficult and allows for a different perspective on writing. And it really, kind of allows for me to tap into my inner child a little bit, to get that creative side back. I think that it's really a balance of adulthood, inner childhood, and just being able to combine the two to be something new.
There's a shortage of labor on this twin island. People looking for any kind of work to do, blue collar, corporate, contract hustlers, and the whole unemployment crew. For an average pay, they can clock in on cue, but you have no clue what hard work them women does how to do. Hard hat on, bootstrap tight, women working hard with all them might, they say. Women ain't good at construction. Tell that to that man. Her husband built like a Lego with no instructions, they say. Women ain't good at construction. Yet, between the contractors and the contractions lives the division. The division of labor claims no autonomy for women. The economy is one-sided, divided not by the skill, but by the body. The society praises men for their delivery of labor, but when the roles are reversed and labor comes first, they don't even give the woman a trophy. The sign reads, labor and delivery. For some, to earn a living means to birth a pick-me women are recruited for free labor and they're branding it as family values. It's a legacy. And with no therapy, it's passed on from womb to womb. My grandmother taught me that the work that keeps the house together is just as important as the work that pays the bills. Her spine was like scaffolding, steel to support a man's growth. My grandmother's hands held the house together. Granny built a kingdom with gravel scraped from my grandfather's bones. God, Granny, because who else gets to mold a man that she doesn't even get to call her own anytime she thought she deserved better, her back would bend. like question marks under the weight of a man with a big ego. Her daughter learned to curve the same way. That's when the division decided to outsource love and call it labor. When my father found out that he could build houses, he had all the tools but never knew how to finish the job. That's when I found out that builders are the minority, that he could have built his dream home but not make the one he was living in a priority. I found out that the foundation needed consistency. I grew up patching holes he left behind, so I mistook poor plumbing for love half the time. My man, best plumber in town, until he started laying pipe and thought it was a project for two. So who pipe it is if it belonged to me and you and you and you? It must be why the house leaking and nobody know where the damage starts. Poor construction passed down, cracked ceilings and inherited parts. When the steel in our spines start to snap, even the strongest woman would collapse in silence if she carrying the whole building on she back. The general blueprint of a woman means that her life has to abide by plan A or plan B, even if her plan A forces her to take plan B. Women are expected to bend until the cycle breaks every 28 days from 40 contracts with no gratitude or gratuity. It have no raise in raising a man. So don't tell me women ain't good at construction. I've seen the permits, the PPE, the protocol for proper HSSE. I've seen the job site, and I do even work UDEC OTT. If you wanted a fixer-upper, you could have go to HGTV. And don't tell me you want a child, because when you come here without your things, please leave me be. If you think I go in and tie a knot to spend the rest of my life to build a man up, I could tell you what I am not. I am not Bob the Builder. I'm not building no man.
Once again, our next poet is a 9-time finalist, 1-time winner. You do the math. Darren Sandy!
3 words that describe my career and my performance work is do not bust. You ever play catch and rescue? When you get hold, there's put you in jail and then somebody had to come and tag you out and send you home. You ever rob somebody? Like when you actually go, you take the thing, when you have to do that thing, carry it back home. So it's all about returning with possessions and returning what you have. That is bring it home. When I saw the theme, I said, all right, I have to bring something home. You know, whether it be a first place, you could also carry home a last place too, same way. But the point of the matter is your number call. So you have the opportunity now, you go out on stage and you do your best.
TNT, we in a tunnel, but no turning. Nation building steps would see us through. And once we pass to the other side, you and me too, we'll be in a better place. I know the tunnel seems dim, but let me be the light at the end, kind of smile on your face. There is light, all right? All of us inside, arm in arm through this tunnel, we will march together with a nation-building song of victory. Everybody, 2, 3. All you hear that? When UNC wins, PNM does win. Getting kind of eerie in here. That's not our tune. I swear the writing on the tunnel wall just moved. Yes, look! These acronymic hieroglyphics come into life. You know those 3 letters that ask you to stay in one finger for D better? All of them things turning into real monsters. I thought we deserve a party. Why each party looking like we don't want no part of that? Don't! Cower and fear overreact. Keep your eye on how the monsters move. Monsters mesmerizing the masses by munching. By munching on your issues. Then they're going to turn your issues into a beautiful bacchanal. That's how the monster interests you. Don't let that monster turn you or turn you or turn... something's not right. I came in this tunnel to find thee. Who in this nation really care about light? Put your party card over your manifesto. All are we turning monster tonight? No, but there's a thief in Maruga that just killed an old lady. You can't get no votes like that. Turn it into how niggas only killing coolie. No, there's a SEA exam, and that exam sentence you to academic perjury. You like opposition hour. Turn it into them school and them unfinished because them thief out all your money. No, a coalition government. That would be good for we country. Coalition what? Them just riding that old woman with one set of ministry like it's a orgy. Turn he, turn she, turn all of we. And that's how I turn into your prime monster. First on the agenda, them fresh-faced fellas trying to make it to the other side, give them a 40K, a sense of community. I mean a center for the community. Then they go forget what's right next. Raw X. Every pressing issue just scandalize the other side. Don't give them a rag and give them a jersey and give them a rally. And now that we on top the tunnel, cave it in on everybody. Who's that crying child? And why it crawling on the ground like it want to die? Bring it. Let me kiss it. Mwah. And take a picture of me with him in it. And here the caption for the IG. I hold in the future because you gave it to me. Now all monsters together. A monster song of victory. Everybody, 2, 3, vote for we and we will set you free.
Now, this next performer says he wants to bring godly change through his deliveries. And I know we need a little God tonight for sure, the amount of things I said on the stage. Hoping to give that godly change with his delivery is none other than Ronaldo Briggs.
I would say bring it home. You know, when somebody says that really hit home, that thing you said, that thing you did, it really hit home for me. That's what bring it home for me means. It means hitting the target. It means making people feel something, making them connect with what you're trying to share with them. Hitting a nerve, striking a chord, but in a positive way. You have to connect. Whatever the topic that you choose, it has to be something that resonates with the audience. They have to feel it. They have to not just feel it, but they can see it when you are delivering the piece. If they could see in their mind exactly what is taking place, I think that's when you know you really hit home for them.
If all man is dog, then welcome to the pound. I am Jermon, here to shepherd you through the process of picking your perfect pup. Now trust, I know you've been bit in the past. Teeth sunk into your heart like a chew toy. He mauled it apart, stitched, yet still you wear the scar, but breathe. 'Cause my breed has been trained to guard and guide. So hold the leash. Let's take a walk inside. Starting with the baddest of the bad. To my left is Clifford, the big red flag. Beware of the hypnosis in his tail wag. He wants to play with every skirt that pass. Watch him fetching for the right words to make you sit and roll over so that he could have his way. Now you hoping your good boy would stay, so you open the gate to your heart, but that dog will run away. To my right is what some describe as a cutie. Face of a husky, built of a mastiff but don't get mixed up, is a potong. Suffering from previous owner's abandonment. Housed in a kennel that never became a home. His dog bowl, void of love to chow on, so he threw tantrums like digging deep holes within his soul to bury emotional intelligence indefinitely. That's why threats to leave often lead to him marking his territory, but straight ahead lies a pack of our best mutts in the lot. Fettered by our top ducks, they took every shot given to grow into healthy pups. He sniffed after therapy and he snapped at every educational opportunity, yet notice all dogs have ticks that might tick you off, cause you to bark at each other from time to time. Why? Because there are no perfect pups at the pound, just a few good boys willing to try. So my friend, this is all we have to offer. Here's a leash and a collar. Pick from the left, right, or center. Just remember the words of the raging bulldog, Dr. Rowley. When you come to the pound, choose your dog wisely.
To close off an amazing night of spoken word poetry, put your hands together for Seth Sylvester.
I started recently thinking about, okay, what do you bring to the table as a spoken word artist? What makes you different? And I truly believe it's the ability to do everything that everyone can do. You hear one poem from me, you getting funny, you getting serious, you getting storyline, you getting punchlines, you getting wordplay, you getting everything. Capitalizing on the foundation laid from before. In the last leg of a relay, collect the baton, you bring it home.
The Lord is saying there is someone here I need to pray for. You, come forth. What's your name? Trinbago. Anything in particular you would like prayer for? Jobs for your kids? Okay. Food in the fridge? All right. Healing? Yes. Unity in your family? Yes. Pave the roads? Never mind. Everyone here, please extend your hand towards Trinbago in prayer. Heavenly Father, I pray you provide jobs for all. Even though there are many, it seems as though Trinbago's children find the salary too small. They rather leave that work for them vennies. Lord, I come against the spirit of pride in their lives. I come against the gimme. Heavenly Father, in the face of this economy, I pray for Trinbago's food security. Lord, you know his food import bill is billing and building. May he discover diverse dishes and delicacies right on his own properties. Some of the most exotic meats like sukunya. May he market this wild meat for international exports. May it be flavored and inspired by a Bunji Garlin song. I come from where sukunya, we curry it. You're going to curry it, and a buck, Lord, he shall curry it. He's going to curry it. Laja, bless, Lord, he will curry it. Heavenly Father, I pray for healing What you were healing for again? Ooh, Shantarabashotoro. Lord, I come against the Sahara dust affecting Trinbago's sinus. May you deliver him from anything that is unholy, just as you delivered him from travel with Zoe. And we thank you for that, Lord Jesus. Heavenly Father, I pray for Trinbago's roads. I come against the spirit of potholes. I pray it be filled with the Holy Ghost, as well as some asphalt. Lord, last but not least, I pray for his Trinbago's family, that race will no longer be a competition, yet each ethnicity should come first. Trinbago, the Lord has something he wants to say. He's about to move in a miraculous way. The Lord wants to appoint an East Indian man leader of the PNM and an Afro-Trini leader of the UNC. May all who are racist will get a spirit of confusion. Ooh, Lord. The Lord is speaking to someone right here. He wants to put a hand on one of the daughters of Trinbago who is in need of a better man. If your name is Priya, God said to break up with Bran right now in the name of Jesus, Lord. And last but not least, again, the Lord wants us to pray for this poetry slam. Please join with me in prayer. Repeat after me. Heavenly Father, please increase the prize money from FCB from 50K to 100K. Lord, touch their pockets. Lord, they are making enough profits. Lord, I pray you hear these words in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And let the church say,
some due diligence must be acknowledged. And at this point in time, we'd like to invite Hospitality and Youth Manager of the Boca Slit Fest, Ms. Mariel Forbes, to give an address.
Over the past 14 years, the First Citizens National Poetry Slam has become more than just a stage. It is a launch pad, a confessional, a battleground, and a creative outlet for young voices across Trinidad and Tobago. It has solidified its place as the Caribbean's premier spoken word competition, not just by name, but by nature, transforming raw talent into refined brilliance, passion into profession, and verse into visceral change. This championship has proven that spoken word isn't just an art form. It is an opportunity to turn silence into sound, frustration into fire, and ideas into impact. And as it grew, so too did the poets, the audiences, and the movement. But it didn't happen by accident. It happened because a community believed. It happened because we had mentors who showed up, spoke out, and stayed the course. One such person was the incomparable Funo Ayena. From beneath the arches of the old fire station building at Nalis in 2012 to today's electrified slam stages, Funo was a quiet and sometimes not so quiet architect of much of what you see and feel here today. This year's festival theme, Always Coming Home, is a nod to our poets, our supporters, but most of all, to our beginnings, to the foundation he helped build. A dear friend, colleague, and mentor, with a mischievous sparkle in his eye, Funo was famously not one to hold water in his mouth. He said what needed saying, and thank God for that. As Deputy Festival Director of the Boca Slit Fest, he poured himself into this championship, He designed the rubric, he sat as chief judge, he retired, and he still showed up. He couldn't leave the slam alone, no matter how hard he tried. And as we planned to celebrate the 15th edition of the Bocas Lit Fest, he needed little convincing to agree to return as chief judge this year. For 2 years, another colleague, Shivani, Funcho, and I traveled the country on book club tours, road trips filled with stories, sharp insight, dry humor, and the kind of conviction that can only come from someone who has lived through what some might seem or some might consider challenges. He still believed fiercely in the power of words. From being arrested during student protests in Nigeria, which is a little secret, some of you might not know, to helping shape a literary festival in Trinidad and Tobago that proved we could produce world-class literary talent. What you have witnessed tonight, and what you'll continue to see on future slam stages and beyond, is part of the legacy Funcho helped shape, an unapologetically Caribbean space for a young creative to stand tall, speak loud, and remind the world that our stories matter. The slam is a testament to his vision, his fire, and his absolute refusal to let mediocrity walk unchallenged. To Funcho, thank you. You brought us all home.
Next, we would like to invite the CEO of the Bocas Lit Fest, Mr. Jacques-Claude Cunan.
This is the 15th edition of the Bocas Lit Fest and the 14th edition of the First Citizens National Poetry Slam. It is truly an honor to be here and to be back in Napa. How it feeling? Over and over, it's warm, all right. We have a new government, we could ask them to upgrade it, right? All right. Over and over, for the last year to now, a particular topic kept popping up everywhere in the culture. It started with Shakira Burton, her winning poem last year. She talked about the elite and the 1%, corruption, and the 99. And at the end of the poem, she spun around and had a 99 on the back of her shirt. You all remember that? Then, in the carnival, Bungie dropped a tune. He say in it, it used to be the downtown massive and the uptown massive with no fences to separate. The ground used to carry it. He didn't win the road match, but the people feel it. Then we had elections this same week here, and afterwards, everybody was talking about the ground. Who listening to the ground? Who not listening to the ground? Who just want to whine to the ground? This elections was about how the ground feels. Over and over, we had this topic, the 99%, the 1%, the elite, and the ground. So in the middle of all of this, what is slam poetry? Slam poetry is the place to hear the views from the ground. It is a place of radical listening for everybody, from the Chief Justice to past prisoners, from lecturers to students who failed their very exams, from the president to ordinary citizens. Everyone comes here to listen. And each of those people I actually call actually came here. We actually had the president judge a poetry slam in 2022, I believe it was. So everyone here, and we actually had people leave prison to perform in the poetry slam in multiple years. This space is a place we come to listen together, not just like in Carnival to jump and whine, because that is a togetherness too, but to sit down and listen. And for that, I want to say thank you to you for carrying it. Carrying this space by showing up year after year and giving this platform your support. To the title sponsor, First Citizens, we love all you too bad. Sponsors, partners, our team, the audience, thank you for building this. This is something we really have to protect and grow. So next year, as we grow it, if you feel like there's anybody out of touch in your life, that they need to understand how the ground feel, bring them to the slam. And as a nation and Caribbean, let us continually find ways, new ways, to speak, to feel, and to hear each other, and to break down the divide between the 1% and the 99%, the ground and the elite. Lastly, I just want to say, in my role in the Boca Slit Fest, and on behalf of the Boca Slit Fest team, we will do our best to continue to evolve the festival so it can be one of the most inclusive spaces for Caribbean literature in the world. A literature festival where the ground does carry it. Thank you and good night.
So next to give his address, we would like to invite the group, the Deputy CEO, a business generation of the First Citizens Group, Mr. Jason Julian.
Hi, good night, everyone. Please allow me to say all protocols observed. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to another edition of the First Citizens National Poetry Slam. Let's have another round of applause, please. So for the last 14 years, I've had the privilege of standing on this stage proudly, seeing our poets make us proud, delivering fire each and every time. And John Claude, for the last 14 years, First Citizens has carried it. And each and every time I come here, it never gets old. It never gets stale, it never gets routine, because our poets ensures that it's fresh, it's relevant, it's appropriate, it's unfiltered, it's fiery, it's honest. And we've been honored to have been part of this to allow for a platform that creates a space for free speech, that they could speak their minds in a way that is direct. That, as John Claude said, that you come here to listen. You come here to see ourselves as we look in the mirror. We come here as the audience, not to be entertained, but to participate. So what has made this event a success for 14 years and counting is the fact that every time we gather, it grows. For 14 years, we've seen the poets start off as newbies, to some have a bio, multiple champions, multiple finalists. So this has become a place of maturity and growth and development. And as First Citizens, we have seen that investment in this platform thrive and grow and pay dividends far exceeding our expectations. And for that, we are grateful to be part of this. Now we ask the poets to introduce themselves on video, to explain what they thought the theme meant, bring it home. And each one of them took the time to define bring it home in their own unique way. What does bring it home really mean? So we sit here in the room, we heard them deliver their best to us as finalists. But bring it home could have so many different definitions. But one I found interesting was bring it home could mean to successfully complete or conclude something, especially with impact and emphasis. Now, the First Citizens National Poetry Slam is the conclusion of the Boca Slit Fest, and we're celebrating the 15th anniversary of the Boca Slit Fest, and oh gosh, if you wanted a conclusion that had impact and emphasis, you couldn't be in another place. And they certainly brought it home for us all here tonight. Now they say home is where the heart is. This is a place of love for us here at First Citizens. So we've been a participant, investor, sponsor, partner, collaborator, because our heart is in this. This isn't PR for us. We have been committed, and I know it may not be the Marsh Grant money, but it's the largest spoken word prize in the Caribbean. And tonight, in a few minutes, after the judges did their deliberations and their very difficult work, we're going to present the winners. I don't envy the judges at all. I sat down there taking my own notes, and I rock back and I say, wow, wow. I really don't have a clue. I have about five people in the running right now, and it's a close 5, so I'm eager to see who makes their name onto the 50,000 TT check. So one of the poets came on stage and reminded us tonight that there's truth in advertising. So we've had, for the last 30 years, a very, very simple tagline at First Citizens. We live it, we believe in it, it's part of our core values, it's in our DNA, and it's something that we take very seriously, because it's not advertising or branding for us, it is who we are. And that tagline is our truth, and it's simple. We put you first. And that we put you first is evident here tonight. That we put you first is evident in every time you interact with our organization, in the branches, online, in every space where our brand is. That tagline will be true. So truth in advertising, that is our truth. So as we celebrate here tonight, and we're about to see who the judges in their very difficult deliberations reveal as this year's First Citizens National Poetry Slam champion, thank you all for allowing us to be part of this journey for the last 14 years.
Now it is time for the thing. Poets, where you at?
Every single one of them.
Come out!
Coming on out. And to make sure that we have everybody on stage, we're going to give our head judge some time to also come out and address us, because as we've been seeing tonight, we do not envy them. They have had an incredible task.
Greetings, everyone. It is my sincere hope and my desire that at least one sentence, one phrase, one gesture, all right, okay, I like it. One gesture really stood out to you and allowed you to experience a shift on the inside. I really like it, I like it. I promise you I like it. And if it did, it means that we were allowed the beauty of sharing something very special tonight. These are poems in the threshold, poems at the end and the collapse of an old world, and poems at the beginning of a new one. To stand out on this stage tonight in 2025, your poem must not only meet the requirements of the rubric with ease, but your work must also speak to something inside of the collective heart. And I'm sure we could attest to that fact. How do the words, how do the spaces between the words, and how does the poet curate the energy of the room? Tonight, as most of you know, the judges would have looked at voice and articulation, stage presence, dramatic appropriateness, the use of language, the use of literary devices, and of course, the element of continuity. But also, which poems are offering us the most memorable impressions of ourselves in these moments. Tonight we witnessed a strong use of language and expression, poetry that spoke to what is happening on the ground, the voice of the people, what is emerging in this time of transformation. We had multiple calls to action. The work was topical, it was challenging, even to the judges. We did have a challenging time in deliberating our winners for this evening. We also found that in terms of some of the performances, There might have been some lack of commitment to the physical life of the poems. This is not for all, this is for a few. And getting stronger embodiment of the work would definitely be the next step towards improvement. After listening very deeply to the work shared this evening, the judges have made their selection as follows. In third place, can you please put your hands together for Alysia Psyche Haynes. In second place, who do you think it is? We don't know. All right. In second place, please put your hands together for Mr. Darren Sandy. Yeah. And bringing it home in first place. Can I get a drum roll from the audience, please? Put your hands together for Shaquille Warren.
Yes, I can hear them saying, boys, stop living in the past.
Yes.
The
footwork! Ladies and gentlemen!
The footwork!
First time!
The footwork!
History making! From start to finish! Shaquille Warren! Where's it, Shaquille?
Come from when wrong used to carry it. Where used to carry it.
Say, 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 it's the new calypso, no summertime fling. Rocking to the rhythm and the style we are bring. Energy electric, I step in at the ring. Chipping and a chipping with a pretty little thing. And I know that it's gonna be my day. Spread the love and it's gonna go my way. Middle of the road and they can't do a thing when the vibes start popping up. Yeah, say feel it when the sun comes up, even when it rings down. Say don't miss the magic, yeah. So blessed to have it. Whoa, she just when the sun comes up, yeah. Even when it rings down. Say don't miss it's the magic, yeah. So blessed to have it. Yeah. Say, I just wanna feel free tonight. Let it all go, no need to hide. Energy, yeah. We ain't coming down. Say everybody want.
First Citizens National Poetry Slam, powered by Bogus Litfest, TTT, and sponsored by First Citizens. We put you first.